Namaskar to everyone. I am singing this bhajan as my offering to Shri.Narayan ji. It was one of his favorite bhajan, and I was fortunate enough to sing this bhajan along with him in Dubai in a function many years before. गणेश नम ओम गणेश नम ओम गणेश नम श्री गणेश नम ओम गणेश नम ओम गणेश नम ओम गणेश नम श्री गणेश नम ओम 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 गणेश नम श्री गणेश नम ओम। हे गणनायक शुभ फलदायक विघ्न विनाशनकारी, हे गणनायक शुभ फलदायक विघ्न विनाशकारी, विद्यादायक बुद्धिप्रदायक विद्यादायक बुद्धिप्रदायक सिद्धिविनायक स्वामी सिद्धिविनायक स्वामी। गणेश नम ओम गणेश नम ओम गणेश नम श्री गणेश नम ओम। लोग करें तेरी पूजा पहले गावे तेरी महिमा, लोग करें तेरी पूजा पहले गावे तेरी महिमा। दूर करो प्रभु सारे अमंगल, दूर करो प्रभु सारे अमंगल, हो सुख शांति जग में, हो सुख शांति जग में। गणेश नम ओम गणेश नम ओम गणेश नम श्री गणेश नम ओम गणेश नम ओम गणेश नम ओम गणेश नम श्री गणेश नम ओम गणेश नम श्री गणेश नम ओम गणेश नम श्री गणेश नम ओम। सिद्धि विनायक मूर्ति की जय। लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु।
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಶರಣರ ಗುಣವನ್ನು ಮರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡು ಎಂಬ ಮಾತೊಂದಿದೆ. ಶರಣರ ಗುಣವನ್ನು ಮರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡು ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ, ಹುಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಭ್ರಮದ ಕ್ಷಣಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣವಾದರೆ ಸಾವು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಇನ್ನಿಲ್ಲದ ದುಃಖಕ್ಕೆ ಈಡು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸಹಜ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ. ಜನನ ಕೇವಲ ಕುಟುಂಬಕ್ಕಷ್ಟೇ ತಿಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ, ಆದರೆ ಸಾವು ಇಡೀ ಜಗತ್ತಿಗೆ ತಿಳಿಯುವಂತಾಗಬೇಕು. ಅದು ನಿಜವಾದ ಬದುಕಿನ ಸಾರ್ಥಕತೆ. ಸಾವು ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಮೃತ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಇಡೀ ಜೀವಮಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ತನ್ನ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವದ ಪರಾಮರ್ಶೆನ ಸಾವಿನ ಬಳಿಕನೇ ನಾವು ಮಾಡೋ ಅಂಥದ್ದು. ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಸಾಧನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಕೊಡುಗೆ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವನ ಅಮರತ್ವ ಸಾಬೀತಾಗತ್ತೆ. ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಬದುಕಿದ ರೀತಿ, ಅವನ ಕಾರ್ಯವೈಖರಿ, ಇತರರೊಂದಿಗಿನ ಒಡನಾಟ, ಬಾಂಧವ್ಯ ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಗಣನೆಗೆ ಬರೋದು ಆಗ್ಲೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ನಾರಾಯಣರವರು ಕೂಡ ಬದುಕಿನುದ್ದಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಎಲೆಮರೆ ಕಾಯಿಯಂತೆ ಸಮಾಜಮುಖಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ, ಆರೋಗ್ಯ, ಇತರೆ ದುರ್ಬಲ ವರ್ಗದವರ ಏಳಿಗೆಗಾಗಿ ಶ್ರಮಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಅಸಂಖ್ಯಾತರಿಗೆ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಅವರಿಚ್ಛೆಯಂತೆ ರೂಪಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣಕರ್ತರಾಗಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಶ್ರೀ ಮಾತಾ ಅಮೃತಾನಂದಮಯಿರವರ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಉದಾತ್ತ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಂತಹ ಸಾಧನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿರುವ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ನೆನಪಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಇದಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ನಾರಾಯಣರವರ ಸಂಕ್ಷಿಪ್ತ ಪರಿಚಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡೋದಾದರೆ, ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ನಾರಾಯಣರವರು 6ನೇ ಜುಲೈ 1968 ಆಷಾಢ ಶುದ್ಧ ಏಕಾದಶಿಯ ದಿನ ಪುಣ್ಯ ದಿನದಂದು ಚೆನ್ನೈನ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸನ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸನ್ ದಂಪತಿಗಳ 7ನೇ ಪುತ್ರರಾಗಿ ಜನಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ತಂದೆ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ತಾಯಿ ಗೃಹಿಣಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಬ್ಬರು ಸಹೋದರರು ಮತ್ತು 3 ಸಹೋದರಿಯರ ಮುದ್ದಿನ ತಮ್ಮನಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೀತಾರೆ. ಪೋಷಕರಿಂದ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣವನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯುವಲ್ಲಿ ಯಶಸ್ವಿಯಾಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಪ್ರಾಥಮಿಕ ಮತ್ತು ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣವನ್ನು ಟ್ರಿಪ್ಲಿಕೇನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿಸಿ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಪದವಿಯನ್ನು ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಚೆನ್ನೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಬೆಳೆಸಿರಿ ಮೊಳಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಗಾದೆ ಮಾತಿನ ಥರನೇ ಬಾಲ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿನೇ ಚತುರನು ತುಂಟನೂ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಅಭಿರುಚಿಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ರು. ಚಿಕ್ಕಂದಿನಿಂದಲೇ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ, ಶ್ಲೋಕ, ಹಿಂದೂ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿ, ಗ್ರಂಥ ಪಠಣ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಹಿರಿಯರ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನವು ಅಥವಾ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲಿನ ಸಮುದಾಯದ ಪ್ರಭಾವವು ಇವರ ಮೇಲೆ ಅನೇಕ ವಿಷಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಹೊಂದುವಂತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಆಸಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. 1988ರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋಲ್ಕತ್ತಾದ ಪಂಡಿತ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸೋಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಸುಮಾರು ಒಂದು 8-10 ತಿಂಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಚೆನ್ನೈಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ಸಾಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಾಗಲೇ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕದ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಅಂಕುಸಿರುತ್ತೆ. ತಮ್ಮ ದೃಢ ನಿರ್ಧಾರವನ್ನು ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳ ಬಳಿ ತಿಳಿಸಿದಾಗ ಮಗನ ಈ ಕಠಿಣ ನಿರ್ಧಾರವನ್ನು ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲದಿರೋ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಂದ ಒಪ್ಕೊತಾರೆ. ಕೇವಲ 20ನೇ ವಯಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಪದವೀಧರ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮದೆಡೆಗೆ ವಾಲೋದು ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ದೈವ ಪ್ರೇರಣೆನೇ ಸರಿ. ಸರಳವಾಗಿರೋದೇ ಒಂದು ಸಾಧನೆ ಎಂಬ ದೃಢ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ರವರು ಓರ್ವ NGO ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಸಂಯೋಜಕರಾಗಿ ನಿಸ್ವಾರ್ಥ ಸೇವೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುವಲ್ಲಿ ತಲ್ಲೀನರಾಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರು ದಿನದ ಅನೇಕ ಗಂಟೆ, ವರ್ಷದ ಹಲವು ತಿಂಗಳುಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸುಖವನ್ನು ತ್ಯಜಿಸಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಿಯೋಜಿತ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಪೂರೈಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ಇವರ ಜೀವನದ ಮಹತ್ತರ ಘಟ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಪರಿಣಮಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಇದರಿಂದ ಇವರಿಗೆ ಅನೇಕ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಗಳನ್ನು, ಅನೇಕ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಜನರ ಸಂಪರ್ಕ, ಪ್ರಭಾವಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಪ್ರಶಂಸೆಗೆ ಪಾತ್ರರಾಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೂ ಇತರರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ವಿಸ್ತರಣೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಮ್ಮದೇ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದವರು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ 6 ಶಾಲೆಗಳನ್ನು, 2 ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾತಾ ಅಮೃತಾನಂದಮಯಿ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ನ ಅಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಥಾಪನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಿರಾಶ್ರಿತರಿಗೆ ಮೈಸೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಉಚಿತ ಗೃಹ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಯೋಜನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸುನಾಮಿಯಿಂದ ಬಾಧಿತರಾದವರಿಗೆ ಅಂಡಮಾನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಗೃಹ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಯೋಜನೆಯನ್ನು ಕೈಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. 2004ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅನಾರೋಗ್ಯದ ಕಾರಣ ತಂದೆಯನ್ನು, 2007ರಲ್ಲಿ ತಾಯಿಯನ್ನು ಕಳೆದುಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದರ ನಂತರ ತನ್ನ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಗಳನ್ನು ಪೂರ್ಣಗೊಳಿಸಿ ಮಾತಾ ಅಮೃತಾನಂದಮಯಿ ಅಮ್ಮನ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹೊಸ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಕೆಲವೇ ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಿತ ಖಾಸಗಿ ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸಿ 2014ರಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರೀ ರಘುತ್ತಮ ತೀರ್ಥ ತಿರುಕೊಯ್ಲೂರವರ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಕುಟುಂಬದವರ ಹಾರೈಕೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಪ್ರತಿಭಾರವರನ್ನು ವಿವಾಹವಾಗಿ ದುಬೈಗೆ ತೆರಳುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೊಸದನ್ನು ಕಲಿಯೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರಿಗೆ ಇದ್ದ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ ಸುಮಾರು 6 ಭಾಷೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಿರರ್ಗಳವಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಬಲ್ಲವರಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ತರಬೇತಿ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸಂಗೀತದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವು ರಾಗಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದು ಸ್ವಂತವಾಗಿಯೇ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನಿಯಂ ಮತ್ತು ಕೊಳಲನ್ನು ನುಡಿಸಬಲ್ಲವರಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆರೋಗ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಕಾಳಜಿ ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಯೋಗ, ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ, ಧ್ಯಾನವನ್ನು ಅಭ್ಯಸಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ರಾಮಾಯಣ, ಮಹಾಭಾರತ, ಉಪನಿಷತ್, ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದ ಇವರು ದ್ವೈತ, ಅದ್ವೈತ, ವಿಶಿಷ್ಟಾದ್ವೈತ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗಂಟೆಗಳ ಕಾಲ ವಿಮರ್ಶೆ ಮಾಡುವಷ್ಟು ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯತ್ರಯರ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ದೃಢ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇದ್ದ ಇವರು ಅತ್ಯುತ್ಕೃಷ್ಟವಾದ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಾದ ರಮಣ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ, ಪರಮಹಂಸ, ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರು ಇತರರ ಆರಾಧಕರು ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ತಟಾಕಂ ಧನನಿಕ್ಷೇಪಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಸ್ಥಾಪ್ಯಂ ಸುರಾಲಯಂ ಆರಾಮಾಕೃತಿ ಸತ್ರಾಣಿ ಸಪ್ತಸಂತಾನ ಸಂಜ್ಞಕಾಹ ಅಂದರೆ ಜಲಾಶಯಗಳನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಮಿಸೋದು, ಧರ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಧನವನ್ನು ಸಂಗ್ರಹಿಸೋದು, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠರಿಗೆ ಆಶ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಏರ್ಪಡಿಸೋದು, ದೇವಾಲಯಗಳನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟಿಸೋದು, ಸಾಲು ಮರಗಳನ್ನು ನೆಡುವುದು, ಉತ್ಕೃಷ್ಟ ಗ್ರಂಥಗಳನ್ನು ಮುದ್ರಿಸುವುದು, ಅನ್ನಸತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟುವುದು ಇದೆಲ್ಲನೂ ಕೂಡ 7 ಸಂತಾನ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯಲ್ಪಡುತ್ತೆ. ಪುತ್ರರಾಗದಿದ್ದರೂ ಈ ಸಪ್ತ ಸಂತಾನಗಳು ಪರಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಪುಣ್ಯಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿನ ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪುತ್ರಸ್ಯ ಗತಿರ್ನಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಮೇಲ್ಕಂಡ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸದ್ಗತಿ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿಯಾಗೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂದೇಹನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅದೇ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ತಮ್ಮನ್ನು ತಾವು ಧರ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಡಗಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂತಹ ನಾರಾಯಣರವರಿಗೆ ಸದ್ಗತಿ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿಯಾಗೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಸಂದೇಹ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಭೌತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಶ್ರೀಯುತರು ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೇ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವರ ನೆನಪು ಅಚ್ಚಳಿಯದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಸದಾ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
to be engaged in meaningful actions, and at the same time be engaged in Nama Sankirtana. The following bhajan is the first one that I heard him sing during the initial days of Mata Amritanandamayi Math, Bangalore.
First of all, thanks a lot for having such a great gathering. And it's my, it's from my heart. I don't want to speak from my tongue or my mouth. I really speak from my heart. Speaking about, I would still call him Swami, because he was the one who really motivated me. In my initial stage, I joined Mysore LLB. So in the year 1996. So 97, as ashram started in Mysore, Narayan Swami, he was the greatest support for me to stay in ashram and to continue my college. So I was really impressed with his work. I've been personally with him, and been many times alone with him. Each and every moment I shared with him is such a wonderful experience, and it was such a wonderful learning for me. In fact, I would rather say, he was not I would humbly request everyone not to miss him. That I would like to ask or to appeal everyone to feel him, feel what he has given us. And frankly speaking, even I was in ashramate for almost 19 years, from the year 1999 to 2017. So he was one of my backbone in joining an ashram. So as I told you, for 1 or 2 years I was in Mysore Math, and the amount of support he has given me, I would sincerely, if at all, if he is there, I would like to touch his feet, and still I can really feel his feet. I remember one incident, when he used to come to ashram, frankly, as Shambhu mentioned, I was the prime witness, I would rather say, because I was the one who was staying in ashram all alone. When Swami used to come, I was the one who really opened the door for him. So I really see him rest is something he never uses it. He says the more and more you take rest, the more and more you become rest. So that is the greatest lesson that I've learned from him. And second lesson that I've learned from him is considering and caring everyone. So with this great platform, I would like to share my sincere and great gratitude. And I'm sure he's still among us in my heart, in my feelings, in my learnings and everything. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Manojji. We have seen your association with him. We have witnessed how both of you have worked hand in hand, his guidance and your efforts in bringing several activities. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts.
It's very difficult to speak now after that video. Maybe we should have spoken before that video, because that has choked. I could able to relate, as Manoj rightly said, as Swamiji, right from my, I don't know, the late school days and until the Dubai, time in Dubai. Like we were in Viluppuram and he used to come to our home and have Bhiksha, we call him Bhiksha. And then in Chennai, and then when I was in Delhi, then finally when I was doing a project for 2-3 years in Bellary, he had visited with the entire ashramites and stayed at our place and conducted. I traveled with him. Like, you know, in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Siddhaye Yatamapi Siddhanam Kaschin Mam Veti Tatvatah. Out of all the human beings, very few strive for knowing Bhagavan. And out of those, like, you know, attaining perfection, out of those very few, only 1 or 2, rarest, they really reach me or attain me. So according to me, Narayanji, like Narayan Swamiji, was one among them, rarest of rare, selfless and very hardworking. His life itself is an inspiration. How Amma, but just by seeing Amma, being with Amma for few minutes, it washes away all our whatever klesha or anything is there within our heart. We feel so light. Amma doesn't have to say anything, just being there. Same way, just seeing Swamiji and being with him is an inspiration. And another thing, I'll just take only a few more minutes, is an all-inclusive personality. There's nobody, I know, like there's no, at least within my knowledge, nobody's against him. Being all-inclusive is very, very difficult. You somebody like you, somebody will not like you. So there is always groups. But here, Narayanji is such a great human being that he's all-inclusive. He will include everybody. Very good sense of humor and very nice, like bhajans only you associated with him, playing harmonium and bhajans and inspiring everybody and all. And you all have put in a bill. So all of you have put in a very nice program, like including Pratibha ji, Prajesh ji, and all of you. It's a very good tribute, humble tribute to Shri.Narayan ji and Swamiji. And I should not conclude this without, I want to just convey my thanks and gratitude to Shri Dheeraj ji. Like when he came to Dubai, and I got a message from Ashram, like it was from Amma, that we should immediately look a job for him. So Swamiji called me and then said that look for that. And Dheeraj ji is also associated with Amma and other ashrams. And he readily, without even anything, I said, he'll be a gift for you. Such a great administrator. Bhaji and all has put that very nicely. So thanks a lot, Dheeraj ji, for taking him into your organization. And then I used to speak to him. I visited him home also later, and he was very happy. And that bhajan which I sang in the beginning, we sang in Dheeraj ji's house during New Year function on the midnight, watching Burj Khalifa. The Dheeraj ji requested that me and Narayan ji, we start the program with Ganesha bhajan. So we sang that. See, Swami Chinmayananji Gurudev used to put that what we have or what we are today is our gift from God, and what we become is our gift to God. Like what we do with what we become, it's our gift to God. So same way, Narayanji, he himself has become a gift to God. His life was a gift to God. Hari Om, Om Namah Shivaya. Namaskaram to all.
Namaskar. Namaskar.
Namaste, sir. We can hear you.
Okay. Demise of Shri.Narayan ji has really shook me, because after he left Amritanandmaya Ashram, probably I was the only person who was waiting for his next assignment. Probably he was thinking that after leading the family life for certain years, again he wanted to serve the nation in a different way. I got introduced to him in the year of 1997, when he started the initial work of Mata Amritanandmaya work in Karnataka. In the office of Mr. Professor Shivaramji, I got introduced to him as a lawyer. I was not actually follower of any spiritual gurus at that time, or I had any deep faith in any kind of guru concept. But I was more interested in national aspects and also rejuvenation of Hinduism. It is for the paperwork, legal paperwork. My service was taken by Narayanji. As the time passed, he spotted my talent. That was his greatest strength. With every whoever used to come to him, he had an amazing power of spotting the talent and then bringing him to the organization. What I can say that he was a real Sangataka, or the organizer. True sense. I was quite amazed by the zeal of Narayanji in doing the social work and also spiritual work. Nowadays, we are talking about our Prime Minister, Honorable Narendra Modi, working 20 hours a day. In fact, Narayanji was working 21 hours per day. It was not a joke to build 6 ashrams at a time of very big dimensions in Karnataka, and single-handedly he was shouldering every responsibility. He had to get the lands. He had to take up the work of conversion of the lands, take up the construction of the buildings. He had to obtain permissions from the government, not only for the development of land, but also for establishing of schools, colleges, educational institutions, hostels, and religious places called Brahmasthanam. I just remember what our ex-revenue minister, Shri.Narayan was telling. Shri.Narayan was a very senior minister in the Karnataka government at that time. He was the revenue minister in the cabinet of C.S.M. Krishna. Once he was commenting about Narayanji, saying that, Swami, Nimmastu Vidhana Saudhada Mittil Hattida Swamiji Nan Nodilla anta. I have not seen any Swamiji who was stepped to Vidhana Saudhada as much as Narayanji. That kind of perseverance was there with Narayanji. That his zeal to the work. Slowly I could understand that it is because of his inner zeal plus the grace of his guru. I was reluctant to go to Sri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi, but virtually Narayanji has pulled me to there. Once I met Amma, I realized that, yes, she is my master. Then onwards, very close association of Narayanji and myself developed. And in each and every work of Narayanji, I used to participate. What I was observing at that time, he was a multi-talented person. In the year of 1999, then the Chief Minister of Karnataka, C.S.M. Krishna, agreed to come to Mysore for the inauguration of our education institution. And Brahmasthana temple was also got installed. It is quite interesting to note that Brahmasthanam is a unique concept of a temple given by Mata Amritanandamayi Devi. Earlier, she had established Brahmasthanam in several other parts of the country, including in the Kodangalur, Calicut, and other places. But Brahmasthanam was separate, school was separate. But what Narayanji was telling that the place of worship and the school should be side by side. But what he was telling, school children from the beginning itself, they should cultivate the spiritual aspects from the childhood itself. So samskara should be given to the school children, apart from the educating them with the modern education. So with that idea, in Mysore, this Brahmasthana temple as well as the school building were inaugurated simultaneously. For that, S.M. Krishna was coming, and somebody had to translate Mataji speech from Malayalam to Kannada. That responsibility was shouldered by Narayanji, and he called a young boy from Bangalore called Krishna to get him the information regarding Kannada. And another relative of mine, Mr. Mohan Rao's wife, Malini, two persons helped him to learn the Kannada. But the way in which he was speaking of the subject was quite amazing. Within 3 months, he mastered the language. Can you believe it? Night about 1 o'clock, his class used to start. It used to go up to 3 o'clock. Then hardly he used to take rest for 2.5 hours. 5:30 he used to get up. And he had to attend other works. When the ashram in Mysore started, within few months, the Bangalore ashram was also got started, and he has to do the paperwork. He had to run for each and everything. Almost most of the time he was going from one place to another. In the car itself, through his phone calls, he used to others to take up their respective work. This enormous traveling used to put a lot of strain over his body. I used to remember that even after going to the bed, he used to undergo terrible back pain. Some youngsters like Krishna used to have the oil massage to him and make him ready for the next this thing. Now, one Dr. Prasan Raj, who was the former medical council joint secretary, was originally from Mysore. Even today, is remembering. Even when he was having 101, 102 degree the fever, how he used to work. So that kind of zeal he was showing. And privately he was telling me, see, British have ruled us for 300 years. Muslims have ruled for about another 700 years, totally lasting for 1,000 years. Now, we Hindus, we have lost our work zeal. We have lost our goal. Now, this country, if at all it has to come to its proper shape, there should be not only political independence of the country, but also cultural independence. He was deeply interested in reviving all the ancient thoughts of our rishis and munis. He was interested in studying Sanskrita, making the youngsters to take up not only the modern education, but also side by side the spiritual education. He was planning the things. And he was telling that now this kind of institution should or can be built only by the dedication of several voluntary workers. So people should selflessly they should work, and youngsters should be drawn. In the next moment, he was telling that once the youngsters are being drawn, the institution should also take care of their future needs. Once we dedicate our life for the institution, the rest of the part of their life, the institution should look after those persons who were dedicating their life to the institution. So he was taking care that in future, this institution should also generate some income so as to maintain its workers. The result is that you see in the Karnataka, now MA Mutt, which has got 7 branches in Karnataka now, 6 branches had been developed when Narayanji was shouldering the entire responsibility. Now more than 10,000 students are getting quality education through this institution. So that itself is the greatest proof of the fruit of his social work. This is the one that is going to be rewarded by the God. Now the life, how many years you have lived is not a matter. How you have lived, that is the greater thing. Acharya Shankara lived only for 32 years. Swami Vivekananda also passed away in the 40s. So that kind of life is being led by Shri.Narayan ji, who was instrumental in bringing several other youngsters also to the organization. It's quite interesting that once 2 poor boys came from Kerala. They had no income to maintain their family. So he spotted talent in one of the youngsters about the singing of the bhajans. So he made him to learn the harmonium, and every time he used to ask him to sing bhajans. Now later on he has become one of the greatest strengths of the ashram. Now he's looking after the administrative part of the college in Mysore, and he's become a sannyasi. And for this bhajans, tabla is also needed. There was no tabla vadaka. It was one person who had some health problem. So he was a very proficient in tabla vadana. He not only interested the job of doing tabla vadana during the time of singing bhajans, but also made him to learn others. He too later entered the sannyasana life. Now he is shouldering the responsibility of another section of the college. Side by side, he is doing tabla vadana. This kind of this thing, the Krishna, who used to come to teach him this Kannada, now he has become a senior Swamiji in the ashram, and his entire family, father, mother, and himself all joined. Recently lost his father. Now he has become a Chaitanya Swamiji. This kind of what we can say is building up a spiritual organization. He had an amazing power. Of course, why he left the organization, that is a different thing, because your previous life's karma, or vasanas, so vasanas, if they are, something is left out to become a true sannyasi, then you may be drawn to the marital life. So that may be the reason why he left the ashram and went for the marriage. And I think that ultimately, whatever karma is there, it is also must have been washed. And I am sure that even though now many people who have recently joined the organization may not know him, whomsoever originally were there in the ashram, everybody in the ashram are aware of the service of Narayana. Even today, in the heart of his mother, spiritual guru, the service of Narayana is the most dear to her. I have heard that she shed tears for hours when she heard the demise of Narayanji. And it is only after his demise, I received a phone call from his wife, Pratibha. Narayana was originally Narayana Chaitanya. Later on, he has become Pratibha Narayan. He was a real Pratibha, and I really, my heartful condolence to my sister Pratibha, and I feel that his wife Pratibha will continue from where Narayana Chaitanya has left. Narayana has left. She has got a lot of zeal. She has got an amazing power of organizing the things. I request Pratibha to continue in the same path or fulfill the visions of Narayanji. Particularly, he was very much concerned about propagation of Sanskrita. Today, it may not be a coincidence that Chamu Krishna Shastri has released this book. Chamu Krishna Shastri is a very close relative of mine. We were brought up together. He is son of my maternal uncle's husband's sister. So Narayanji was in communication with him, and Narayanji was telling that we should do quite a lot of things for the propagation of this Samskrita. Now, I request Pratibhaji also to take up shoulder some responsibility in the place where she is working in propagation of Samskrita, which she can conveniently do it. That will be the greatest probably pranams to that we are giving to Narayanji. I once again salute the Chaitanya of Shri.Narayan, who has shown us how to organize ourselves, how to protect our dharma, and he was quite clear in his ideas about the rejuvenation of our Hindu dharma. He had no confusion at all. Philosophically, myself and Narayana, we were not together. Even though he joined Advaita Ashram of Mata Amritanamaya Devi, inside he was more inclined to Dasa cult. He had more faith in Sharda Karmas and Dvaita Siddhanta. But I am quite different. I don't give much importance to Dasa cult, because what it is my firm belief that our society got denigrated from generation to generation. From Advaita, we stepped down to Vishisha Advaita, then we have come down to Dvaita. We have to go back to the Brahma Sarupa. That is my way of looking at the things. That's how we can overcome all these caste barriers and everything. So once again I salute the great master. I call him a master because, like a master, he led us. He enabled us to group ourselves. He made Mata Amritanamaya devotees now virtually a family unit everywhere. So every devotee of Amritanamaya Devi in Karnataka is remembering him. I think he served in Chennai also for a quite long time. He was trained under Sri Ramakrishna Puri, who himself is a great taskmaster. So from him, he had learned all the lessons of organizing the things. I once again pray my Sadguru, Mata Amritanamaya Devi, to take his Chaitanya inside her. I am not the one who believes that Bhakta is separate and God is separate. We are one. So I ultimate pray God for merger. Namah Shivaya.
I'm Sridhar Kamath here from Karwar. Karwar is on the west coast of India, near Goa. When I think of Narayanji, well, I know him as Narayan Swami. And that was since almost 1997. We met for the first time in Amma's ashram, and we were requesting Amma to start a school in our area. And Amma readily agreed, and she said she would send one of her very close, trusted lieutenants. And that's how one fine day, Narayan, we used to call him Narayan Swami, and he still continues to be, for me, Narayan Swami. One day he landed in Karwar, somewhere in 1998. And ever since then, we had a wonderful relationship. An amazing type of a person that I am yet to come across, with varied aspects of his personality. Spiritual aspect, yes, but adding to that was his managerial aspect, a knack to manage things and manage people. He came to Karwar. I'm sure it must have been more than for 50, 60 times during the time when we were starting a school in Karwar here. And it was his efforts, I would say, his total dedication. Well, the school came up in Karwar, and it's one of the finest schools in this area here, Amrit Vidyalayam. And entire credit goes to him. He was responsible, to my knowledge, because I was intimately connected with him, for starting many of the institutions in Karnataka, whether it is in Mysore. Of course, Shambat must have already said about it. Then engineering college in Bangalore, school in Davangere. He had a desire to start a school in Bilgam as well, but of course, unfortunately, didn't materialize. And whenever he used to be in Karwar, he used to be our guest. We have a chalet, we call it, a beautiful room right on the top of my office here. And that used to be his place of stay. Every day, morning, evening, he would sit with the harmonium, sing bhajans, practice bhajans. And in the most of the time, whenever he was here, and almost every day in the evening, we used to sit in our prayer room and sing bhajans together. Well, that was how we developed a very close association. And it resulted in something different in the days to come thereafter. He somehow thought of getting out of Amritanand Mai's ashram life. And he telephoned me one day saying, Sridharji, I have left the ashram. And is there any possibility that I can be of some use to you or to some of your organizations? We have a factory or an office, an industry in Bangalore. My brother was running it in those days. He was managing director. I immediately talked to him and I said, Narayan Swami desires to get into a different mode of life, and can we accommodate him in our factory? My brother said, if you say he is a wonderful soul, please send him over to us. I sent him over to Bangalore, and my brother, moment he saw him and met him and talked to him, well, he developed a liking for him altogether. And that's how Narayan Swami came to get associated with our company in Bangalore, EAPL. Shubharani had just remembered him and sang that beautiful bhajan, which he was instrumental in teaching her. Well, he continued in our association, in our company for more than 6-7 years. And later on, of course, he thought of going to Dubai and take up a new assignment. Well, my association with him gives me a feeling that there are very few such souls who combine in themselves the life of an ascetic, a life of a recluse, and yet they are prepared to lead a life of a householder. And that's what he was, and he practiced that. As a sannyasi, he was a wonderful, I would say, a recluse. As an employee, I must say he excelled himself in every assignment that was given to him. And as an householder, I'm told, well, he led a wonderful married life, a personality which anybody can be proud of and would like to get associated with. When I heard about his demise, it was indeed a very shocking information for me. And I got this information from Amma's ashram only. Some of my friends in ashram, well, they said, Narayan Swami, they used to call him Narayan Chaitanya. Well, he's no more with us. And well, that's how an end came of a wonderful soul. Thanks indeed to Pratibhaji and Prajesh ji for organizing this get together to pay our homage to him. Of course, we cannot do anything else, but remember his association and pay our homage, pray for his whatever the possibilities that come in his way as a divine soul. Well, my prayers for his eternal peace, and thanks to all of you, and more so to Pratibhaji. Pratibhaji, if you are, I can't see you anywhere in the TV here, but I would like to see you personally sometime and share my experience with him as a soul that surpasses any of our understanding of a human being, a man of a varied nature, a man of excellent values, a man who deserves to be befriended by one and all, small and big. Thank you very much once again. God bless. God bless you all.
Thank you so much.